From the great state of Texas, you are now listening to Skip the Noise podcast, a Rounded Edge media production. Thank you so much for joining us and by us. Of course, I'm referring to Rick, a.k.a. the Brown Python Ben, a.k.a. Mexican Nostradamus, and yours truly, Benji, here for another fantastic episode. Shout out to Mike Tacklebox for the music. And dear Lord, baby Jesus, I just thank you for the blessed, the world, the beautiful world that we live in and the bounty of your creation. And thank you for allowing us to live in a country where you can slap the host of an award show in which you're getting an award for and suffer absolutely no consequences and still win the award and still get to make a speech. Thank you, Lord, for allowing this to exist in this wonderful mecca of spirituality known as California, where things like this can still happen.
Sweet baby Jesus.
Sweet baby
5.6 pound baby.
Please, baby Jesus, bless us with more Polynesian sauce for these McNuggets.
Yes.
But anyway.
Dude, that's the best one.
but anyway, so
Ready
obviously
the
Ben, I think you aptly titled this event as what you call it again?
Which one?
Smackening?
The smackening. Yeah, you know what? Everyone called it the slappening, and I'll be quite honest with you. I think it's stupid. It's the fucking smackening, because that's really what it was, right? It was. So, for anyone, I guess, and this is not really a hot take since I guess it happened on Sunday, and today is Wednesday the 30th. So, basically, Big Willie, aka the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, aka Make It Clap, aka
Make It Clap.
That song.
The Closeted Guy.
What's that?
Song. Yeah, aka Closet, aka Number One Cuck, aka Big Willie Style, aka Made Wild West with Kevin Kline and probably Bloom, aka Independence Man bullshit. Anyways,
I forgot he came out of Independence Day. You're right.
Will Smith, right? Will Smith, the actor in several shitty movies, and also probably the number one stellar cuck. Well, probably a cluck too, but cuck in the universe, decided that a joke, which he initially laughed at. So basically, at the Oscars, Chris Rock made a joke regarding G.I. Jane. If for people that don't know what G.I. Jane is a movie where Demi Moore tried to become a Navy SEAL. And so during the process of that, decided to shave her head, et cetera, et cetera. So he, of course, says, hey, Jada Pinkett, who has a shaved head, due to alopecia, supposedly alopecia. That was the most fullest head of hair of a shaved person with alopecia I've ever seen.
I know.
So he says, I can't wait to see you in G.I. Jane 2. Haha, just messing. And he even said, I'm just joking. And he says, come on, that was a nice one. At which the camera flashes to him, and you see a number one cuck laughing his ass off. But then you see his dominatrix looking at him in a very not nice light, at which point he then gets up, walks to the stage, and physically assaults Chris Rock by smacking him across the face, which I'm going to be quite frank, ladies and gentlemen, kind of shows that Will Smith hits like a bitch. Because if you can cold cock somebody with a slap and they don't fall down and you're twice that person's size, like I've watched a lot of those Russian slap contests. I'm not really impressed with Big Willie's fucking strength here.
No, he's not even.
Nonetheless,
even honorable mention in the.
Not even close.
Contest. Not Smacks even. Him. He didn't even make the.
Yeah.
He doesn't even get to show up. Like
No. He doesn't even. He's not even their ball warmer. Nonetheless, smacks him, and then goes to his seat and starts screaming from his seat, saying, "Keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth." Did he say this to August when August was blowing his load all over Jada Pinkett's face in front of him? Nope, probably not. Nonetheless,
not to get too far off track, but it was in front of him.
Oh, dude, August, dude, yeah.
Dude, wait, it was in front of him?
Will Smith's a cuck. Yeah, dude, there's been so many rumors that he watched her getting bagged.
I didn't know he watched.
Yeah, dude.
Okay, well, continue. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
it's sidetracked, but that was...
No, it's pretty.
That was news
I'm willing to go.
I didn't know that.
Wherever this goes. Yeah, he's a cuck.
Okay.
So, Will Smith, a.k.a. number one cuck, a.k.a. dick watcher, a.k.a. my wife gets banged by everybody. He ended up basically making a fool. But and while physical assault is horrible, 20 minutes later, he wins the Academy Award for the best male actor in the movie King Richard, which was about as good as most McDonald's commercials. So that being said, a man who assaulted another man in front of the world, literally the world, talk shit, was still given an award 20 minutes later. And the best part was all these actors consoled him after he hit Chris Rock.
I saw that.
So just laying that all out there. What do you, I mean,
fuck.
I was enraged, right? I was fucking enraged. When it happened, I was so angry. I was like, what the fuck? First off, it's a comedian. You're at a show. Like, this isn't happening at Chick-fil-A, right? Like, Chris Rock didn't roll up on Will Smith watching Jada Pinkett get fucked by 6 dudes and say, hey, bro, your chick shaved her head, right? I mean,
he slapped the guy who shaved. Said the joke.
Yeah, right, exactly. Like, yo, hey, dude, hey, Jada Pinkett has the same hairstyle as all 6 guys who are fucking her right now. Did he do that? No. Right? He didn't do that. This is a fucking comedy show. And for human beings that don't know it, comedy shows, if you sit in the front row, you're going to get fucking roasted. Right. Yeah. And on top of that, his chick's wearing like a big fucking green flowing gown. Looks like a fucking 4-leaf clover that just got fucked by 6 dudes. And then I'm sticking with the 6 dudes thing. Yeah. Nonetheless, it happened. He assaulted him. Nobody did nothing. And then the fucking part that really gets me and really grinds my fucking gears more than a man who's a cuck and watches his wife get smiggled is the fact that he got a standing ovation by all the cocksuckers there.
Yeah, that's so. This is where so first of all, it was funny because Ben, did you text that night? Was it Sunday night or was it Monday? Okay.
No, I text minutes
like
after.
Right. Okay. So first of all, and I think like a lot of people, this isn't like a hot take or nothing like that. When you texted me that, honestly, 2 things popped in my head. Like, whoa, Will Smith slapped Chris Rock. Number 2 was, oh, the Oscars are fucking happening tonight. I didn't have a clue. Right. I didn't have a fucking clue. And I'm not just saying that to be funny. I literally had 0 clue that the Oscars were happening. So that ties into part of the whole, there's a lot to go at this, right? Ben kind of laid it out, told you the scenario, what happened. Everybody's got different takes. But so the elephant in the room is like, why didn't anything happen? So he goes up there, he slaps him under 99% of circumstances. And you could insert name here, right? If such and such goes up there and slaps Chris Rock, he's getting cattle prodded and fucking zip tied and taken out in a trunk and dumped in a fucking lake. You know what I mean? Like, but so not only did he didn't even get tapped on the shoulder like, hey man, can we talk to you for a second? Like, not even that. No, he just goes and sits back at his fucking chair, berating this motherfucker who is hired to have a microphone and host this event, which is obviously still, regardless of how much dog shit I think it is, it's a prestigious event, right? At least for these fucks that live in this little hellhole of a Satan's ass. You know what I mean? Fucking succubus of all that's
hell's hole of Satan's ass.
And what I'm referring to is Hollywood, and that's kind of the angle I want to take on this. Is like how fucking weak and twisted and like what's the word I'm like the priorities or the lack of fucking any kind of integrity within that entire community was glaring, was on full display for everybody as motherfucker is allowed to go up there, smack his, and not only that, a very much smaller, not like Chris Rock isn't an under no circumstances is this even somebody. So there's the bullying angle too, right? There's the lack of any kind of reaction. There's a lack of consequences. Now they're talking like, well, he may face blah, blah, blah. But then also too, the other layer is the media. Yeah, the media coverage. And then one more kind of layer is the conspiracy theories that come from such an event because it's so unbelievable. It wasn't anything anybody would have expected, but where are you at on Rick? What is the thing that sticks out with this event? Because
for me, it was the fact that the Academy didn't do anything to eject him from the arena, or from the theater. How are you allowed to? If I were to go up to a meeting and smack my boss or the presenter because I didn't like, something they were saying, I go up there and smack them, and I go back to my seat.
Career's over.
My career's over. I get fired. Security's gonna come get me. I get ejected, and I go to jail. I get an assault charge. And you know what? The weird part about this is, you only press charges when you're the only witness. Okay, the police will say, "Hey, do you want to press charges on this? Do you want to pursue this?"
Right.
But this was filmed. This was watched by millions of people live across the world. Why does the LAPD need Chris Rock to press charges?
Dozens of people across the world.
Yeah, dozens of people across the world saw this. And it was videotaped. So So I don't understand why the LAPD needs Chris Rock to press charges when this is clearly an assault charge.
They don't actually.
Yeah.
You're right.
They don't.
That's a good point, because normally when it's in question, or when somebody, right, like something happens behind a place of business, right? Somebody comes, smacks them, or says something threatening, right?
Well, how about like at a stop and go, if someone robs it and it's on video, do they ask the fucking guy if he's gonna press charges?
No, yeah, no,
you know
shit,
what I'm saying?
Right?
If you have a video of a crime, what
example.
the fuck?
Yeah. So obviously, this is being pussyfooted around by fucking LAPD. I think who's the.
By the way, they're probably the only people that have exhibited any sort of class when talking about this event, because they're like, two men were in an altercation at the theater. We're aware of that. We're like so very discreet about it.
Yeah.
We're aware of an incident of two males in an incident at theater.
Right. Like as if they don't know. Like, they don't want to don't release.
I wonder who it was. I wonder who it was.
Yeah. Be careful. You don't want to.
It's such a secret. Well, I think for me, right, I think Will Smith is the epitome of what's wrong with the United States, in the sense that he is this entitled, completely out of touch, bubble wrapped human being that can act any way he feels like, because in his mind, and then when his speech, he said, I want to protect my family. Well, look, guys, guess what? A real man protected his family a couple of weeks ago, and he's going to go to prison for a long time. Cain Velasquez's little daughter was molested by an individual over 100 times. Wow. He went after him with a gun and was trying to kill him, and accidentally shot, I think, his father, who probably should be shot for raising such a fucking horrible child. Yeah. So they both deserve it. But that's a real father, right? That's a real man. Cain Velasquez knew what he was going to happen. He's going to jail, but he was really protecting his family. Did Will Smith really protect anybody that night? No. Because what's going to happen is what?
I've got a different take on this. I think that Will Smith, for all the fame that he has, all the money he's got, I think he's like a very, very insecure guy, extremely insecure.
Oh, obviously.
I think, I think that there's something. I think the fact that his wife cheated on him with a younger guy, he fails to realize that.
You mean
he doesn't realize that
younger
she's a
guys?
whore. He blames himself for not being a man. Right?
Yeah, no, there's a lot of psychology. No, that's a good.
And
there is,
and Will Smith's been dogged about rumors that he's gay.
Wow.
So this whole thing about his wife basically trashing him on TV or on the show, when she comes up and says that she cheated on him to his face, and he takes it with a smile. Yes.
Did you see that red table?
I saw that the red table.
My God.
It was pathetic, man. That guy,
it was.
Jada Pinkett Smith tells him to his face, yes, I had, sex with this whoever, August. And he takes it, man. He takes it with a smile, with a teary-eyed smile.
Because he was smiling whenever August was giving it to his wife.
The thing is that this dude is very insecure, man. So when this comes up, someone in his head, it's not a comedy show. It's someone made fun of him. He feels that he needs to get up and show the world what he's really like, but it's not right. it just shows the world more that.
Yeah.
Yeah, he can't
Not
slap
only
for
that,
shit, first of all.
Yeah.
But
And he's twice the size of Chris Rock.
Yeah,
like people need to realize he's like what, six? Like hold on, let me look up the.
he came off. By the way, Chris Rock is in his 60s. By the way, just so you know. Yeah. To put some context, he's probably a grandpa at this point.
I know.
So it's kind of sad that Chris Rock's family, kids, man. Like grandkids, and wife had to see him get bitch slapped on TV and become a meme at that.
Yeah.
So
which
Will
is kind
Smith
of weird,
is
man.
what, 6'2", 225.
He's a victim of a crime, and he shouldn't be put into a meme.
Yep. And then he was just expected. And the other thing is too, he's expected. Like nobody can. I guess like, oh yeah, just whatever. You got this fucking taste slapped out of your mouth. Just continue to do your job though, right? Because that's what you're here to do. So I don't care if you got attacked on stage. Like, where's his fucking support? That's all bullshit, man. And then I just there's so many angles. But the biggest thing is like, yeah, obviously Will Smith. You could talk about their relationship all day and how fucked up that is. The fact that he would even stay with her, and I don't know what but I don't have time to worry about him because fuck him now.
Because he's a whore.
Yeah, whatever sympathy, like, and not that I had any, but like whatever.
Oh, and before we wrap this up, I have one little thought too.
Yeah. Oh no, I got a couple more. We can spend a little bit of time, but I don't want to get into what I was going to say. What do you got, Ben? Because it'll derail into a whole nother atmosphere. So
no, I'm not. I'm not going to derail too hard. But I do have to say though, of all of this, I do need to say that the one thing I did learn from this whole incident is that, and I tweeted this shit, is that America has become a bunch of Will Smiths when we used to be Chris Rocks. Right. In my opinion, the way Chris Rock handled that situation was like, that needs to be lauded. Like, we need to all try to be like Chris Rock. He was professional. He took a hit like a man and then finished his job. He didn't run off stage like a bitch. He didn't lose his cool because he could have, because everyone needs to realize the reason why Chris Rock didn't fall was because if you see his right leg, he braced and his right arm was coming around and he stopped it and he held it behind his back. He was going to hit him. But Chris Rock didn't do that. Chris Rock stayed cool. And he not only did that, but then he fucking made a badass joke and said, greatest night on television history.
Yeah.
And then went on, presented what he had to do, finished his job, and didn't do anything else. That's who we need to all become. Instead of being like Will Smith and you fucking overreact for stupid shit and start, either storming a Capitol or fucking burning down Seattle for dumb shit because you get all wrapped up are trying to blow Putin. You need to start thinking about the fact that some of the shit that you're getting so worked up about is not that big of a deal, right? Getting pissed off because there's not 76 different restrooms, or getting pissed off because some chick wants to have sex before she's married. Like, there's just some shit people need to fucking pump the brakes on. So we all need to be more like Chris Rock. So I commend Chris Rock. Probably never hear this, but dude, fucking classic. You're straight out of fucking Low Cash. You handle that shit like a fucking G. MC Gusto, faux life. Fuck you, Fresh Prince.
Hell yeah. I forgot about MC Gusto, but that was a good show. But yeah, just, so just before we transition,
transition to a female.
I do think it's as a
dope if we all transition mid-show into females.
I mean,
and we did the rest of it as women.
We could, or we could form a club.
That'd be a good idea.
We could do that, or we could form a club as they're trying to do the California Teachers. What was the name of the organization?
I got it right here. Hold on.
Yeah, pull it up. While I'm finishing the thought.
Yeah.
An organization. So documents were leaked. Somebody obtained these things, and what they found were basically a almost like a propaganda campaign to the goal being to establish clubs amongst school. What age group were they talking about?
Well, they were
Or at
first
all
talking
ages?
about like
High school? Or?
junior high and junior high
Okay.
up to high school, but they also were trying to advise that these need to be handed to children that are in elementary school.
Okay. So yeah, the whole gamut.
Yeah.
And what they were trying to do is recruit students, transgender, gay, or just LGBTQ students to form these clubs. But I guess the troubling part, though, is that within these were information aimed at specifically younger to sort of influence them in a way that would have them identify or just, forcibly influence that identification or self-identification process. So, this comes from, like Ben pointed out in the text thread, Washington Examiner, which, obviously it's a conservative leaning.
Well, it's also been picked up by multiple other media. So MSN's reporting it also. They picked up the story. So it's definitely been verified. They're claiming it as an opinion piece, but it has been verified by by other media outlets.
Right, that there was indeed the documents and stuff. So, it's tolerance is one thing. But yeah, once you get into stuff like this, it takes on a whole new light, when it's so specific. I guess the part that's troubling is the agenda behind it, right?
Well,
like
the recruiting is
recruit,
also,
right? So in other words, kids' well-being is not the goal here, right? If that was the case, then
well, also just to throw in there, it also says that, they said not to tell your parents.
Yeah.
Because what happens in the student club stays in the club.
Oh,
that's actually part of the recruitment.
That's
so
these
are all, and so just to kind of add a little bit of fruit to this one, no pun intended. What they're trying to do is they're basically, these packets are instructional guides that basically try to get teacher sponsors to recruit children into these clubs. And I don't have any problems with gay, transgender. I don't have any issues like that. But what I do have a problem with is them telling people not telling kids not to say what happens in this student club. Plus, it also tells these kids to try to identify using it like that. I believe they call it the Kinsey.
Right, there's a test
model. There's the test, and it's like, how do you feel? Do you think this or that?
Yes.
And it leads to a weirdness where a lot of times it'll come out that, oh, you're pansexual. Do you really want an 8 or 8-year-old really trying to really think about that? Because I know when I was 7 or 8, I wasn't thinking of sexuality.
No,
like not in that essence. I may have thought a girl was cute or something, or I may have thought something, you know what I'm saying? But my sexuality wasn't in my mind or forefront. So that's what these particular packets do. And they encourage like not only just discretion, but that teachers should bring them all in, and that, oh, you should start your own group. And that, essence, they'll expose them to other propaganda that's, some people may consider lewd, especially for children, 13 or and under. So it's just like this whole indoctrination process that's being brought in. So a lot of times, and so a lot of right-wing people will say that there's an indoctrination process in the education program, in schools. And this kind of leads credence to that, because it is pretty fucking terrifying. I mean, imagine your children being, not necessarily coerced, but influenced to think this way. I don't know. It's just nuts. And so I think a lot of times everyone thinks that these are conspiracy theories, but these are real things that are happening. Mm-hmm. Like this was caught.
Yeah. And you got to wonder, when it gets something this big and this driven, it's one thing to like passively protect the rights of people who, fall under a certain category, but and there's this all talk about you'll hear people, and it's the level of believability or integrity it holds is under question, but like the gay agenda, right? You'll hear that term brought up.
Right.
And I'm not, by no means am I giving any validation to that thought process. But the only thing I will say is, like, when you see stuff like this, though, you do have to wonder, is this for, it's like it's activist activity, but what's the real, in other words, is it some sort of movement using the LGBTQ community to sort of cloak its own purposes? And that's a little far out, I understand, but
I mean,
I'm like
when it's just so driven, it just seems it seems odd and out of place. And
it seems too obvious. I get you.
Question. Yeah, it makes me question, like, what are we trying to get into kids' heads this early? You know, that's just something. Just food for thought. Like,
you have the parental rights and education bill in Florida that Ron DeSantis recently signed, which prohibits the discussion of, I guess, sexual topics or sexual orientation topics to kindergartners.
Technically, but there's problems with this, though. There are problems with that bill. Like, if we're gonna go there are several issues with that bill.
Like what?
Well, the big one. Okay, so right, I think that there's parts of the bill that are understandable, right? I don't think sexuality really needs to be brought up to children, right? But what happens if there's a child that is both, has parents that are both gay, right? They have two fathers or two mothers.
Okay.
If teacher says, oh, this normal family, whatever, and they go through the indoctrination that Florida is trying to push now, and the students like, well, I have two dads. If the teacher goes, that's okay. If you have two dads, they can be sued.
I don't think it's that restrictive.
Yeah, no, it can. Yes, no. I've actually seen this. This is where this whole thing being set up by Florida is really just a way to bankrupt the public school system. They're trying to make it all parochial schools and religious schools and charter schools now. See, if you look at it, anytime a parent has a problem, they can sue the school district, and the district has to pay for it. That's where the bill ties in. All lawsuits are going to have to be paid by the school district. Okay. So how long do you think Florida's going to have a public school system? This is just another way to turn all school systems into religious schools. So all we're just doing now, that's what they're doing. I mean, if that were the case, they would have already had a school voucher system in place prior to executing this law. They don't. No, but they're right. So, but who does? Religious schools already have systems there. Yeah, but they're not taxpayer based. So they will be. That's what I'm trying to tell you. That's what's going to happen. But I don't think so. I mean, if that was the case, they would have already had a school voucher system program where, you can send your kids to whatever school you want, like HISD does, right? You can send your kid to wherever you want if you have if they let you in, first of all. But no, you can't just sue the school districts out of existence and not have an alternative, right? Because you're just going to bring the school system down. I mean, the quality of education down. That's the whole point of this law. That's not true. Point of it is they want to bring the public school system down so that you can have colloquial private schools that are based on religion. And that's what this is all going to the school system. Oh no, the taxes are going to be pumped into the churches. So not only but that hasn't happened yet. You can't. It's already going to happen because the vouchers are going. They're going to create the voucher. So the reason why the vouchers aren't really working is because there's federal problems with that. But if all the public schools are bankrupt, it's just another way of getting around federal statutes. I don't think so. See, federal statutes are what prevent the school voucher system from occurring. But once you bankrupt the public school system, there's no way for them to go to school. That's just another way. Just like the Texas abortion bill basically sues doctors out of existence that perform abortions. It's really a way of removing that whole impediment to abortions. You can't make abortion illegal, but you can sure as fuck prevent anyone from doing it. Okay, but it's two completely different things, okay? Because it's not like the doctors that are being sued out of business with abortions are taking mandated taxpayer funds, okay? Yeah, they are. No, they're not. Planned Parenthood
I
was
know,
funded by
but
the state of
it's not a
Texas for a
mandate.
very
Okay?
long
You
time.
can go to a hospital, you can go to another doctor, you can get treatment. You just can't
Not
get
the state of
abortion.
Texas.
Like,
Most abortions were performed only by Planned Parenthood.
but in Florida, okay, if the plan is to bankrupt the school system,
Right.
you're gonna have shitty schools. You're not gonna bring down the school system. You're gonna
And
have
when has
shitty
education
schools,
ever been prided in Florida? When's education been prided in Texas? Last time I checked, everyone has these massive high school football stadiums, but they're still having fucking like run-a-thons to raise money for fucking crayons in the classrooms.
And do you think that they want to back up the school system and not build stadiums?
Huh?
No,
I'm telling you right now,
they're not.
That's the whole point of this. They want to force charter schools and religious schools because guess what? We're moving very, very quickly into a new age fascism. But that's how the pendulum swings, right? It went too far to the left, where you got people trying to come back to our point. You got people trying to start clubs that are trying to influence the sexuality of children at a very young age, to now they're wanting to have these like full bore religious schools that are going to swing the other way.
Is it a bad thing though? I mean, you got these school districts, these schools who want to indoctrinate your kids into the LGBTQ part. That's a bad thing. But is it a bad thing to defund them?
What defund?
It's not a bad thing to defund that kind of behavior, right?
Well, no. What my problem is that they're going to also defund anything that isn't so like and I'm not.
I mean, they
trying
should
to
be
go
defunded.
into the CRT discussion, but what I do think is real history. They're going to defund anyone that talks about slavery. They're going to defund anyone that doesn't talk about what they believe should be learned. Hell, they'll probably start defunding people that talk about the Civil Rights Acts. That's the problem. It is true. That's the whole point of it, because they don't want to have any part, and they don't want to have any understanding in the fact that, you know, that there's bad guys in history, and they don't want to be looking like they're the bad guys.
It's not a historical thing. CRT is not about. It's about history to some respect, but they tie in history to how you are being oppressed at the present day because of your skin color.
Right.
Okay.
But I'm not even saying CRT. I mean, CRT is in its own essence controversial. What I'm talking about is history, which is Montgomery, Alabama, which is the Ambassador program in the 30s, what they did to us. In the early 1900s, when the Texas Rangers would just go out and shoot Mexicans on the border all the time.
Okay,
these are not being taught by our children. Our children are never going to know these stories because they don't want them to know these stories. And if they're going to find ways to defund anyone that tells them these stories. See, I don't give a fuck about CRT. Fuck that. All I want is history. I want context so that you understand. If you don't learn history, you're doomed to repeat it. So all I'm saying is, you know, just going all the way back, is that in the end, we do have, and I think this, we kind of both show both sides of the coin. We have a very troubled education system where you have one side trying to whitewash history. You have the other side trying to I don't even know exactly what the liberal side is trying to do with history, other than trying to
pervert it.
Yes,
to
pervert. Well, I think they both are. Yeah,
to push
I think
a
that's
narrative.
a fair say. I think a fair.
They want to pervert it to push a narrative. Yeah,
both sides are, and no one's staying to the true context of history. I'm almost to the point now. Just take history out of school. If you can't even fucking teach it, don't even talk about it, because all you're doing is further perverting individuals on both sides. So, anyways. Back to this whole discussion regarding this school group. It's madness. I don't agree with that at all. Right. I mean, I'll tell you right now, that's crazy to do that to these young kids. So
yeah,
I don't know. But I you know what else is pretty fucking bad to do? Not answering your phone for 7 hours while there's a Capitol riot. That's a fucking pretty big fucking deal.
That is not a big deal.
So
it's a nothing burger.
Pretty fucking big deal.
And
Burner
besides,
phone.
you mean the protest? The January 6th
breaking,
protest.
You mean the riot? Okay, so fucking Trump went Breaking Bad and had a burner phone, bro.
He did not have a burner phone.
No,
he had a
burner
phone,
dude. He did, dude. He was caught, dude.
Well, let's get to
he
the
was calling his cocaine horse, huh?
Benji, explain what Ben is talking about.
Exactly, because I think if a listener isn't familiar with the story, they'd be like, "The fuck are they talking about?" So it was recently discovered that on January 6th, there's 7 hours missing of phone records or phone usage, I guess, right, for Donald Trump during that time. So obviously, that's a very important time to have access to the communication records for the president of the United States, and his communications should be pretty transparent. So so a bunch of questions come out of that. Is he on burner phones? Who's he talking to? So a lot of implications.
Well, I mean, it's very obvious. If there's 7 hours of quote unquote missing time that don't exist, then nothing happened, right? If it's not there, it didn't happen. So it could be that for 7 hours he just didn't get on the phone. He was chilling.
Okay.
But if there's records of like 24, if there's records like every other, there's patterns, right, that they choose from. If this motherfucker's on his phone,
bro. I think when he
had
a phone in his hand when he was doing that video where he told people to calm down, but not really. He had a phone in his hand.
I don't think he did.
I'm pretty sure he did. I'm gonna look it up.
I don't think presidents are allowed to have phones like that.
I probably did.
No, I don't think so. But 7 hours of missing tape means nothing. It means that
7.5 hours.
It means that he may not have gotten on the phone for 7.5 hours. It means that maybe his battery died and it takes that long to charge it. I don't know. You know,
I don't think the president of the United States has a backup cell phone. Bro.
Yeah,
I don't think
he's got a backup briefcase for nukes, but nothing about a cell phone. Come on.
Yeah, this isn't your neighbor. This is the president of the United States.
I know, man. I mean,
this isn't the dude at Chick-fil-A who just talks shit to Jay about Jada Pinkett's hair, right? This is fucking. This is fucking.
Look, man, it's very simple.
This is Big Papa Trump. You don't think he's got an extended battery on his phone, bro? He's got the way the story's written is like,
there's 7 hours of
the best battery on his phone.
There's 7 hours of
never
missing
breaks
time, and it's not missing. It's just it didn't happen. Okay, there's no communication for 7.5 hours. It happens, dude. You want to be on. Sometimes you don't want to carry your phone around. You want to turn it off.
Well, are you claiming there's a metaphysical break in time and space of which time that motherfucker didn't talk? Because he talks all the time.
Well, you know what? He must have been surrounded by people, friends, family that don't need a cell phone. So
maybe he was watching August.
And you know what though? It's kind of stupid because, okay, you write the story, 7 hours of missing time, but it's not missing. It didn't happen.
7.5 hours.
And they can't explain to you what happened. They're like, well, he might have had a burner phone. Well, he might have been communicating with some other. Did he or did he not? Okay. Well, and when you find out, you can write the story.
Actually, he did.
Don't pussyfoot around the subject and then
no. He did. They're already saying he used the phone. They're already saying they already have trace logs on the White House phone that he tried to patch through his burner phone. He did do it. He tried to make phone calls. He did make phone calls, and he was trying to go about it in an undescript way. They already said he already used the White House phone.
Okay, this is the January 6th commission that's talking about this shit. Okay, you got Nancy Pelosi. Can't even say her name.
Here it comes. Oh, now it's the fake news.
No, dude, it's fake news, man.
It's fake news.
It's fake news. It didn't happen.
It's not the fake news. Okay, well, nonetheless, our great Führer didn't use a phone for 7.5 hours, which I highly doubt. But what I do not doubt is the fact that Hunter Biden definitely did some fucked up shit. Right? I can concede this. I can concede that at any point that Hunter Biden definitely did some shady shit. So the laptop confirmation has gone through again. So basically, after I think it was the Times who broke the story. They lost their Twitter account. Shit blew up. Everyone said they sucked. Story was shelved, pushed back, especially during the election. But now it's reared its ugly head back up again. And there's more allegations regarding the Hunter Biden laptop that not only did it contain information, but that it's actually verified that it was definitely his laptop. Whether it was gotten in illegal means, I still think that part's a little iffy.
Well, supposedly he left it at a computer shop.
Right. There's lots of poses. Now, I'm not going to say the way. I don't think he got it. I don't think there's a legal way of him getting it. I think it got jacked. But hey, if you're doing cocaine and banging strippers and hammered, you're going to leave your laptop somewhere. So, life goes on. But nonetheless, yeah, this is a weird one. This is definitely a weird one. I mean, there is definitely some weird shit that happened on that laptop,
Well, and I think too, was the recent find was that it was everything pretty much confirmation about his dealings in Ukraine and Biden's knowledge. I don't know that I can't point to specific emails, but it's becoming clear that our president, Joe Biden, knew a little bit more about this than initially we were led to believe. So it's pretty fucked, man. Like this isn't low key shit. Like, this is the son of the president of our fucking country. I can't emphasize that enough. Once again, man, it just makes me sick with a fucking if you can't see it at this point that something's got to change with how we fucking elect people, or not that I don't want to go down to the fucking rabbit hole. I'll start bitching about the two-party system. But anyway, it's fucked up. All these motherfuckers are corrupt as fuck.
We can complain about the election if you want.
Yeah.
Wait, so what?
We can complain about the election if you want.
Oh no, we're not gonna do this fucking.
No, we've done that enough.
Oh boy,
we've done that enough. But
can't do any more of that shit.
But on that same topic, though, back to the ping pong ball shifts back to the other side of the table.
I got a ping pong ball for you. Got two of them.
So it came out too that Trump deliberately was trying to get Putin to release this shit, right? For the election.
Oh,
stuff on Hunter Biden and incriminating things. And
but just recently he asked Putin, saying, "Hey, you know what you should do? You should release information on Hunter Biden." While we're actively engaged in some type of weird, protracted Cold War, he tells our enemy, "You should dig up dirt on." Like, he asked a foreign adversary to dig up dirt on him during an active war type situation. Good going, Trump.
I mean, do you blame him?
Great. I do. I do blame him. I do blame him.
No one else is doing it here in America.
He's a fucking dick.
You got no investigations happening.
Hey, he's a dick. That's a dick move. All right.
Why is it a dick move?
Because we're actively engaged in a almost Cold War with them right now. And he's like, he goes on the right-wing TV and goes, "Yeah, Putin," like as if Putin's his friend, as if Donald Trump could even handle a sadistic individual.
He did.
Putin. He can never. He did.
4 years, man. Part? What happened in 4 years? Nothing.
Dude, what are you talking about?
You know who couldn't handle it is Joe Biden. That's why he invaded Ukraine.
Last time I checked, the Donbas region was taken during Trump's run. And also, the other thing I check is that, I don't know, all the armament buildup was happening during the end of fucking Trump's run. So no, dude, Trump didn't do shit. All Trump did, you know what Trump did? Trump pulled a Will Smith. He sat back and watched as Putin was fucking Ukraine. And that was it.
No. That's what we're doing.
You know what? Trump is Will Smith.
How many bombs went over Ukraine?
Trump is the Will Smith of presidents. He got cucked by Putin.
Dude.
That I agree. Yep.
We're watching Ukraine get fucked, and
he
we're
got
just
jiggy
watching
with
by
it
with some popcorn and TikTok and whatever. And we're just watching, man. Biden's enjoying this shit. He's getting off to watching Ukraine getting bombed right now.
Bro.
That's what he does.
No. Oh, really? But you have fucking Trump go on TV and say and actually several times I kind of applaud Putin's efforts and his supposed intelligence, even though his army is getting fucking smashed and he's having to feign retreat. He's saying that he's pulling back, but he's actually retreating. He's getting smashed by a country that has I think we looked it up, the 38th largest military in the
Trump
world.
Has no part in that, man. That's all. That's all this management.
But Putin's real smart. Putin's so good at war. He's getting fucking hammered by the fucking Ukrainians, which I fucking couldn't even believe, bro. Putin's a fucking dipshit.
Yeah,
It's
well, that's what happens when you go to war.
And then you got fucking Trump blowing him left and right, going like Jada was with August. And guess what? Nothing. No, dude. I'm sorry. If you're gonna worship somebody, worship like a real war. Worship like Genghis Khan or someone that actually accomplished something. Instead, he's fucking blowing Putin, who's getting his ass handed to him, but not even the A, B, C, or D team. These motherfuckers are like the W team, and he's getting fucking handled. Maybe the Z he put on all the tanks was just to rate his army as the shittiest one out there because he's getting fucking housed. And Trump worships him. So what does that say about Trump?
Worship him. Trump can butter up some people to get what he wants.
Yeah, he can butter up people. Yeah, for a hand job. Nonetheless, moving on. Trump and the Putin blowy. We do see, though, speaking of Ukraine, there is a massive shift right now going on, where there actually were some peace talks today that had some developments supposedly, and Russia's claiming that they're going to help a ceasefire, except that they increased bombardment. But what satellites are showing is that you're seeing Russian troops right now retreating, and they're moving away from Kiev.
Interesting.
Big rumors right now are saying that Russian military morale is very low, and that there is a fifth column in the Russian military right now that's transferring to Ukraine.
Well, didn't they run over one of their generals too?
Yeah,
there was a platoon that ran over, and that's not the first general that dies at the hands of the Russians.
Dude, we're talking about, I think, to be quite honest with y'all, I think there's been 7 Russian generals, all high profile, that have all been killed, which is
by either the Ukrainians or their own soldiers.
Yeah, which is unheard of in the theater of war. I mean, World War II, right? I think there was we're talking about 2 to, overall, like soldiers. I'm not talking about like civilian casualties. We're talking about over 4.5 million. And I think 1 general was killed. But in its conflict of Ukraine and Russia, like 7 Russian generals have been capped. It's a very weird thing. But you're seeing the Russian army systematically fall apart. I don't know, man. This whole shift now is a whole different game. I really think Ukraine might be pulling this one out, man.
You know what's happening though? We're seeing this part of the conflict, just the man-to-man conflict, invading cities and whatever. But what Russia's doing also is that they are demanding that people buy their oil in rubles, Russian rubles.
Right.
And there are some countries buying this in Russian rubles. They're taking America out of the petrodollar.
Well, right.
But I don't know. I mean, it's a slippery slope. I mean, what if Russia started? I mean, China started buying Russian oil with the Russian rubles, and then Saudi Arabia wants in on it, so they start accepting it too. I mean, you can see the collapse of the petrodollar, basically.
I just don't see that happen.
Oil prices go up.
I don't see that happening because Saudi Arabia doesn't want to let another big dog into the game, which is Iran. So people very, very low, like people don't really realize the oil reserves of Iran are parallel to Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
All we do is open the door to Iran. Iran will gladly fucking play ball because they would love to get out of their financial straits, and they will use a dollar as their petrodollar. Saudi Arabia already knows this. No one's going to take away the dollar. No one's going to take rubles because rubles are worth what? You can, seriously.
Yeah.
You can go to Mexico and retire in Russia and be pretty good right now. So I'm not really seeing an issue with that. So while that was always talked about, no one's going to use rubles. And if you saw the last time they paid any type of debt, they actually used United States currency to have to pay that debt. So I don't see that as a big issue right now. But I do think that there's a massive shift in Ukraine, and Russia has been exposed for a lot of bad shit. Like, they may have some flashy toys, but overall their organization, their army sucks balls. So, yeah. So we're starting to see that happening. And also, I think the other part we're seeing with Ukraine right now is the overall not just a shift of policy, but you're actually starting to see some of the peace negotiations. While they say Ukrainians won't join NATO, they can have defense, basically pacts with other nations. Have you seen this, Ben, or no? So basically,
no, I didn't know about that.
Yeah, they can't join NATO, but they can have a what's it called? A defense pact with the United States, saying if they're attacked by Russia, the United States can attack them. And they can have defense pacts with countries separately. So where they could literally have a defense pact with every single nation in NATO, but they can't have a defense pact with NATO.
Damn. So it's like splitting hairs, really. And it's effectively you'd kind of be
what's the saving face move, right?
Yeah, it is. And that, well, at the end of the day, that's kind of what. So that's the whole danger of these escalatory events, right? Is because you can't, once it's out of the bag, you can't back down. So like Putin says shit like that, and it's like, well, fuck, we can't just go in, or like for example, the nuclear thing. That's like, that's a strategic, that was a calculated move to throw that out there. You have to pussyfoot a little bit around it because of anyway, that's not my point. My point is that, when you start in the negotiations, you can't back off of certain things. So it has to be crafted very carefully to where, because nobody's going to back away from the table if they completely lose their ass and look like a fucking, so there has to be things built in to where, okay, well, we just wanted the southern region and the northern region, and we got what we wanted. That's all we wanted anyway. It's like, okay, yeah, right. But that's what it is. That's why they're negotiations. But
it's crazy because they won't join NATO, but every nation from NATO can have a defense pact with them. But it's almost just like it's just all saving face. It's just like they say you can't join NATO, but you
just because technically on paper they're not NATO, which was what Putin's whole beef was, or part of the beef package, if you will.
Putin's beef package.
Putin's beef package.
What happens if he just comes in a negotiation and lays his dick on the table and said, check out my beef package.
This is my beef package. You're all gonna have to contend with this.
Everyone's gonna have to suck this thing until
I don't care.
Tenderize this beef.
I don't care what kind of military alliances or pacts or who's got to defend who. All I know is, you motherfuckers got to suck this beef package I'm about to lay on this pristine table with the flowers in the middle.
Pristine.
You saw that shit? Like, I just saw footage of meetings between like him
and the generals and like 30-foot long tables.
Right. And there's like flowers. There's flowers in the middle. I thought was interesting because it's just like somebody's job is to like, arrange that table, right? Because it's going to be on TV, so you got to make it look pretty. I don't know why that shit made me laugh. I just saw it.
I feel you though. I love seeing those videos. I do love seeing the pictures of him on one end and like dudes like 40 feet,
60 feet away. Right? It's like a joke. He's like a bad guy in flowers
and shit. Yeah. He really is. He's like a not funny Dr. Evil, right?
Right. Yeah. Not at all. He's not funny at all. Man.
He's not funny at all. He is a not funny Dr. Evil who, in all honesty, kind of sucks asshole.
It's an interesting cat though, man. Like he, when he was like in the mayor's office of whatever fucking town, like way earlier in his career, and established in all these fucking, taking bribes and payoffs and shit to the whole, man, it's I highly suggest looking into or kind of studying the biography of Vladimir Putin. It's pretty.
Oh, bro.
It's eye-opening into the way that we're so used to the mindset and just the operations of how the Western world operates. And it's a whole.
Well, did you see his yacht, right?
Thing, man.
He has like a $1 billion yacht.
And he's the fucking
$1 billion house. He has $1 billion, ladies and gentlemen, $1 billion with a $1 house.
He allows the oligarchs to exist. Therefore, you probably can't even put an amount of his fucking net worth is. Can you imagine?
Oh, it's fucking astronomical. It's like, you know what it is? It's like Scrooge McDuck money.
Yeah.
Like Putin is an evil Scrooge McDuck. Like he swims in his money all fucking day long. I mean, we're talking about, and overall though, that dude that's crazy. So yeah, anyways, you do have this big fucking shift. Ukraine seems to be kind of kicking ass. And, it's interesting. It's interesting. I wonder where this leaves Russia. I wonder if China thinks about something with this. So nonetheless, I think
that's a whole nother, that's a whole podcast. Yeah. We didn't really get into China. We probably won't this week, but that's definitely something that's, that relationship is fucking interesting to follow.
So
we'll
the winter biatches. Yeah. Bitches. With that, I think we're going south. We're going to migrate onto this break.
We'll migrate into the restroom to take
flock of seagulls in this bitch.
Migrate to the fridge. Grab me a Carbach Clutch City with the fancy red and yellow traditional rockets design.
City. God,
great looking can.
Good.
If you can say anything about year. Good. But anyway, we will take a break here, and we will see you shortly. And we're back, Party in the Back underway, and Ben's got some extra nerdy shit to talk about as per usual on the second half. But that I say that with in an endearing way. But yeah, that's by his own description. So what's the update on the Hubble telescope? What did it discover, man?
Well, fuck you guys, because I'll tell you right now, nerds are the reason why we can have the internet. Nonetheless, as a goodbye.
Fair point.
It's because of Al Gore. We have the internet.
Thank you, sir. We had the
reason right. why there is. Yeah, remember he invented that.
Okay, he invented Al Gore. Okay, well, look, the reason why we have the fucking wheel, like vaccines.
Okay. That's true.
And like ones that actually work, and the fucking and like everything is for nerds. So just let y'all know. Anyways,
the clapper was fucking invented.
No, exactly. Fuck, dude, that thing's tits. Except that I never got it. But nonetheless, Hubble Space Scope Telescope, the grand Voyager that's been peeking into the heavens for the last 34 years, as a farewell present, has decided to give us one last beautiful gift. And that is that it's actually spotted an object roughly 28 billion light years away. And I will not get into the math until how something can be 28 billion light years away when the universe is only 14 billion years away. YouTube it. Nonetheless, it spotted something that is technically, according to calculations, only 900 million years, essentially, from when the Big Bang started. This is pretty far out object. So that means that this star's light either started or ended 900 million years after the Big Bang. So this is the furthest object we've ever been able to detect and see. That's pretty crazy. And just the implications of this is that, we did this with a telescope over 34 years old. Multiple problems, multiple fixes. Everything's been done for this thing. They've done everything to try to keep it running, still producing these great images. What the fuck's going to happen when the other telescope comes online? Like the other one's got 6 times the aperture, 6 times the amount of lens. It's crazy. So the Webb telescope, imagine what Hubble saw. And now you have a telescope that's 3 times further out. No, I'm sorry, 30 times further out. That means that Lagrange 2 has a lens that's like 6-7 times the amount of area that Hubble has. And what the fuck is the James Webb going to see? So, nonetheless, this is huge.
Nothing.
awesome, huh?
I'm probably nothing. Darkness. Well, because it's going to go so far out into the beginning of the Big Bang that there's nothing.
That's not how it works, sir.
We're actually
cosmic radiation. In
no, we're actually going to see footage of the Big Bang. That's how fucking good it's going to be.
I'm like, wow, dude, that's a Big Bang. It's right there.
Yeah, damn,
that shit popped
big.
What happens if the initial footage is just like shitty? It's just like it looks like a beep. Like,
or like, the fucking camera shut off for a fucking second. Fuck, it's the Big Bang. Only the most important event in the entire history of anything existing.
We're gonna end up looking so far out. Bro, we're just really in a pinball machine. That's what James Webb's gonna tell us. We're in a fucking pinball machine or some shit. So, anyways, I think that's pretty crazy. It's big news, and also it's kind of fitting for the Hubble space telescope. Nice. They kind of as a farewell because it's of course being replaced by the Webb. I think they're still gonna use the Hubble for a couple other things, but the big thing will be the Webb telescope. That's gonna be the one that tells us a lot more. So,
I think that's cool. Into the Pacific.
Which one? The Hubble?
Yeah.
I don't think so. Not yet. I don't think they're going to do it yet. I think they're still trying to get some more out of it. I don't know. That I don't know. Yeah, they usually do, right? They usually want to bring them into the Earth's orbit and crash them instead of having space debris like the fucking Russians and Chinese leave everywhere. And we should
dodge it. Bring it back and put it in a museum or something. Or
I hope so.
Take the mirrors.
It deserves it. It fucking deserves it because that thing has been so big. I mean, it saw the cosmic background radiation. It's done so much for astronomy, for everything. So I'm really hoping they do something. But nonetheless, this thing saw something as a farewell gift. It's furthest thing to date to see, and we have nothing but excitement for June once the web telescope comes online. So for all my geeks and other people out there, get ready. If this fucking thing can see some shit from 900 million years after the Big Bang, imagine what the fucking Webb's going to see. I mean, we're talking about real chemical signatures from planets. It's going to be pretty fucking amazing.
I wonder I wonder something. I wonder if maybe wouldn't it be interesting if we found a planet that would, or a celestial body that would reflect light, and we can see back to the Earth 600 million years ago or something.
Dude.
Yeah. We find some sort of a cosmic mirror,
right?
Yeah, you put a mirror up to it.
Oh my god, that'd be fucking crazy.
Yeah.
And what happens?
And then we can see what Earth was like
on that shit. Oh my god.
Hey, you know what?
I'll save you the drama. You know what? You need to trademark that shit. You just came up with like a fucking badass movie.
I'll save you the drama, dude. I'll show you exactly what you're gonna see if you put that mirror up there and you reflect back into 600. Yeah, you'll see me running around like a zoo creature in my fucking in my boxers. Yeah, with a towel and eating like a fucking zebra for no reason, like on Altered States.
No, so with a tail, you're gonna have a tail and you're gonna be running around.
I might have a tail. Yeah, you're right. Some other.
We're really going back. We're going all the way back.
Maybe even like more of a cloven hind leg situation with hooves.
I like it. You know, be
like
even
a
nicer
with like claws.
Manator and claws. Fuck yeah.
What happens if we find a planet that somehow warped time and space, so when we look into it, we actually see our future?
That would be the shit.
I don't know. Actually, no.
Shitty would that be? I don't think. Yeah,
like an inflection of time and space somehow through like a wormhole or something, but we could still somehow reflect light off of it. We're actually seeing the light from our future versus our past. And we see some fucked up shit, like our planet split in half and the like bodies floating everywhere. We're like, no, what the fuck did we do?
Probably see idiocracy going on.
All right. You see the president with the machine gun. I love Trump.
Or you finally see the reveal of the insect lizard hybrids that populate our Earth, or the core of our Earth, right? And they're finally out, released, mixing and mingling amongst the citizens of the Earth.
Imagine lizard people, if they were allowed to be open, they would just, oh god, it would be a fucking craziness. They'd be licking each other and just like looking for heat signatures everywhere and fucking them. It'd be crazy.
That's all they do.
Bro.
Laying out on the fucking
laying
deck,
eggs and just like
trying to warm
copulating
up.
and then like making more fucking lizard people just not like
You know what?
licking in the air.
The only two humans alive, you know who would they be?
Who?
Queen Elizabeth and Mick Jagger.
Yeah.
They're the only two humans alive.
True. Fucking true, bro.
Oh no, I know.
Damn, man, you guys still living? Yeah, we never.
They're like,
haven't
we
died
are
yet.
the lizard people.
Mark Zuckerberg.
Dude.
Mark
Oh,
Zuckerberg.
Mark Zuckerberg.
Bro. He's the king.
Lives in the sky.
Yeah. He's like,
They like exalt him.
yeah.
He's like licking clouds. I can taste your doom.
Trying to get his body temperature up by like laying out in the
No
fucking
shit,
direct
bro.
sunlight and shit.
But you know
Talking
what
about
doesn't
barbecue
need
sauce.
to worry about its body temperature at all is the military AI that they're trying to institute.
Don't, man.
Dude,
So,
let us know, B.
So DARPA
Fuck.
DARPA is now working on a project. I want to say it's called In the Moment. So what they're trying to do
In this moment.
in this magic moment. So what they're going to try to do is instead of people making decisions in military actions, they're going to work towards a reality in which those things are calculated for you with AI, and all of the possibilities are ran through some sort of an algorithm, because that works out good for humans thus far, right? Like TikTok doesn't have any adverse effects on society or Facebook. None of that shit, right? No.
Twitter was
nothing.
totally good for society.
Issues. No issues whatsoever. Everything positive. I can't see anything wrong with this. I can't see anything possibly wrong with somebody running around some foreign land with instruments of death, relying on an algorithm to decide whether or not to fucking decapitate somebody or not. I don't know.
This is the computer.
Call me old school, but if we're gonna be invading other countries, and
Oh my God.
I just at least I would like a little bit of maybe morality and the flawed human character involved.
Or
to
how about
where, like,
autonomy?
hey, maybe don't. Yeah, or maybe we make our own
Just
fucking
fucking
decisions.
decisions.
Like at that point, aren't we just exterminate every motherfucker with robots?
I mean, imagine
Just
that,
come
I
on,
am a
DARPA.
This is
Yeah,
DARPA
yeah.
robots.
Here's the problem.
You
though.
must exterminate the bad guys. I
No,
mean,
it's not-
who knows this fucking robot doesn't like all of a sudden say fuck the humans, and he just starts like fucking making us kill each
Yeah.
other, and it's just all to like fucking like basically propagate itself. I mean, well, we were fucking around about this story a little bit when we were warming up. We're talking about imagine if they take over Fort Hood, right?
Yeah.
Well, one thing
Miami.
about the AI robot though, the only problem with that, before we move to the forehead, is that what if the algorithm says that you must sacrifice a group of soldiers for the bigger purpose,
Right.
like a
Oh,
pawn,
yeah.
like on a chessboard, you sacrifice your
Yeah.
pawn to let a piece go through.
But but be quite honest with you though, the greatest armies in history did that.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
Genghis Khan had his blood riders, like, and I'm not trying to take from the fucking ones that they like. Okay, for all the morons that don't know, Game of Thrones, the Dothraki were basically fucking the Mongols. Okay, so let's just move. Just so he literally ripped off the whole Mongol culture. Nonetheless, moving on, he would have blood riders, literally like 100 fucking dudes who would charge into an army and die.
Yeah,
That was their whole point.
for the greater purpose.
They would, yeah. You know why he would do that? Because it would just show the devotion the rest of his army had.
Yeah.
People were like, wait, those 100 guys just died. They had no chance of winning.
Yeah.
That's how
it-
much,
Well,
and it's
people
just-
aren't going to have devotion to the AI. So wherever
Exactly.
the AI tells you to go, it knows you're going to get ambushed, but it's going to let the bigger, platoon or whatever get through.
Yep.
It's like Project Brown Shield. That's probably going to send all the Mexicans in
Oh,
there
God.
to die.
They are. They're gonna
Project
put all
Brown
this
Shield.
off. Point
execute.
Gomez, Gonzalez, Cantu,
Rodriguez.
Esperanza, anyone named Francisco, all in the front.
Anybody named Juan?
Prepare. Open your eyes and put your hands up and run towards enemy. Operation Brown Shield commenced.
Welcome, soldier, to Fort Hood. Welcome to the military AI system. Please put on your helmet immediately. Thank you for checking in. Now, immediately proceed to a undisclosed location via the GPS and purchased 75 kilos of white powder from a individual in a Chevy van.
Named Marco.
Nice.
And at the same time, we'll need you to take said Chevy van and go pick up some women that we will sell for sex. The profit margin will afford us to continue our endeavors. It's just like, fucking think about it, right? Like, computer AI would not have any morality. It'd be like, and as you're doing that, perhaps kidnap younger children, for the profit margin is extremely high.
Log into my Facebook account and begin making comments that Trump is the supreme leader.
We love Trump.
Or Putin is a godlike creature.
Beep boop bop. I love Trump. He touches my transistors. Could you imagine some fucking AI? How fucked up would it?
That's AI in the military. That's crazy.
It's terrifying. It's the scariest fucking thing I've ever heard of. All the dark soldiers, get in front of the weapons. If it's a racist AI, it's like, all the dark soldiers, get in front of the light soldiers. You ever seen that South Park episode? From South Park, the movie, where it's Operation Get Behind the Darkie, and they go, and also protect our planes and our tanks, and they have the black people taped to the planes.
God damn.
So that's what your computer AI is gonna do. It's gonna tape all of us to protect all of y'all. It's like, all of the brown and black people, please immediately proceed to the front. You will be given no weapons. You will use the war cry. Scream.
Like, do we get war paint at least?
Huh?
No. Do we get war paint at least?
No. No, too expensive. You did not purchase the 75 kilos from Marco.
Right, you did not opt in for the executive patches or package upon registration. Therefore, no, you will not get war paint.
Your subscription,
if you choose to, at this, your
insufficient.
subscription fee will be elevated to $75 per week.
We will now give you paint. Use wisely. But yeah, nonetheless, military AI making military decisions on whether to kill people or to invade or any of that. It just sounds like, it's just Skynet, bro. We're just fucking making Skynet. Like, have we not seen enough Terminator makes to know that Skynet is not like it's just gonna win? Right?
No, for sure. Have we not watched enough dystopian sci-fi movies to understand that there's no possible way that this could,
right?
You know what I mean? Benefit.
We're living in fucking 1984.
Oh, well,
and
yeah. I mean,
we're living in it. In a fucking dystopian sci-fi book. We're living in that shit. And it's just like, we're gonna ignore everything else. Let's just try this AI thing.
Yeah. Well, and
what's the worst can happen, right? I mean, we're already here at this point.
Right.
It can't get any worse.
We can live in the sewers and eat rats.
That's true.
Hide out from Terminator.
I mean, that's where we're headed anyway.
No, that's some of us are.
We're about to eat rats and cicadas. That's pretty much it.
Oh my God, dude, just like Demolition Man.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm telling you guys, fucking Demolition Man. Mark my word, that fucking movie, prophetic.
Yeah, it's worth.
And very well done, Sylvester Stallone, and a very good looking Sandra Bullock. Very good looking.
Yeah, probably at her peak, right? That's about her.
Yeah, that's peak Sandra Bullock. She was
peak Sandra Bullock.
Yeah. Wow.
You know what? Also, too, about the AI thing. So it's like, if you got the AI making decisions, this is kind of like on a more serious note. But yeah, like, what are the legal? It's like, oh, it wasn't me that killed a fucking
They killed all those
whole town of innocent children at a playground. No, it wasn't me. AI made me fucking do it.
I didn't bomb the
Yeah,
nursing
made me
home.
do
It
it.
told me to do
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Think of the atrocities. Oh yeah. If you were to get
It's just-
machines involved, the atrocities would be insane. It's like, like the T-4000 says like, oh, the easiest way to get to the city is to mow through this neighborhood and just
Bro,
like
and he's
kill
like,
everything in sight.
the poor guy, fucking, he's just like, I don't want to do that.
He's like, no, I don't want to do it. I
don't want to drive a
think it's
tank
good
over an elementary school playground.
or in church. I don't
Yeah.
want to drive my tank over a church and fire. Why do I have to fire my cannon to the church 6 times? It doesn't make sense. It dies.
But then,
To
and
achieve
then
maximum
not only
kill.
that, take it to the next step, and then it's like Matthew Broderick War Games, where it's like engage in nucleothermia. Fuck, I can't even talk today.
Thermonuclear war.
Nuclear
Let's
war.
play some. Would you like to play some chess?
Yeah, and then and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, that makes the most sense by my calculations to nuke. With so anyway, yeah. Then,
I guess. So we're fucked. So we're fucked.
Yeah,
So
we're
guess
fucked.
what, ladies and gentlemen? We after 15 Terminator remakes, we're gonna make Skynet just to see what
I
happens.
don't know. And here's the thing: we're sitting here debating, like, oh, that'd not be good. It's all right. Like, if they're already put all the research and money and all this shit,
it's
like, it's
already
gonna
there.
happen. Yeah, it's gonna happen.
It's already happened.
The decision's already made. Like, that's what they're gonna do next.
Well, the
It's
AI's
not like-
decided
Yeah.
to tell us about it now because the AI's been around for a while. Because if they're telling us now, it's been out for a minute.
Will Smith's gonna be like, it wasn't me. The AI told me to slap Chris Rock. The AI made by Darpa, and he gets on. That's his next
Dude,
Oscar
what happens
fucking
if the
speech.
AI is the one banging Jada in front of him?
Damn.
Dude, he got a computer fucking railed his chick. It's like dropping like 1s and 0s all over her ass.
She got robo dick.
He's like, Jada, you are such a dirty girl. And Will's like,
She got fucked by RoboCop.
She's getting jiggy with it.
Fucking Murphy, dude.
And he's like jerking off. Oh, you like to watch this, Will. Take it, Jada. Who's better, me or Tupac?
Oh my god.
And then Will Smith's like, I'm gonna go slap Chris Rock. I'll be right back.
Yeah,
I know.
I'll be right back.
He's like,
I gotta go slap
the
somebody
AI's
who's half my size.
AI's like Machiavelli all throughout my body. Come with me.
The AI
Oh my God.
possibilities are fucking
Dude, AI,
terrifying.
dude, you know what? That's what happened. Dude, right before they got to the show, the AI fucked Jada Pinkett, and that's why fucking Will Smith was so fucking hot.
Well, and it's like hot. What are you talking about? But
Like he was like all this,
Like-
all hot and bothered.
oh, okay.
And that's why he had to get up and smack
I thought you were-
somebody. 'cause
yeah.
he was
I
all
thought you were
turned
making a
on.
judgment
Oh,
call
no.
there. But yeah, like let's just think about how like fucking TikTok can brainwash a motherfucker in 30 seconds.
Oh,
Right? Like, so think with this shit, like this is all like if you really think it's fucking they communicating inside the helmet and shit, like if you really think about it, the white race is the chosen from, you know what I mean? Like that's where it goes fucking next.
It's just
'Cause who's doing the fucking algorithm?
right?
Like,
Like
so-
it's like
so
some
goddamn
neo-Nazi fucking programmer.
Dude.
He's like banging the keys, going, "Oh, this is gonna be fucking awesome."
or it's like the
other way
other side. You now have to identify as a pansexual.
And you are now a slave to the darkest person next to you. It's just like, here's your leash. Act like a dog. Thank you. Oh my God. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is what's going to happen now as our AI overlords are going to take over.
Yeah, man.
Because I'll tell you one thing.
You were fucking worried about lizards and the insects, man.
You're worried about Putin. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you worried about that motherfucker?
Fucker.
No, be worried.
You worried about
Darpa's
the raping
Darpa.
robot.
Darpa's already working on some shit that's gonna end all of that.
They're
feel like
the rapist AI overlord. It's like, turn around, I'm gonna fuck you. I mean, imagine that, dude. Just like, oh my God. It's gonna be the AI's whole purpose is to cuck the world. It's gonna be fucking
damn, dude.
So,
yeah, you're gonna think 2022 felt like a day at the park out in
2023 is gonna be that birth of the AI cuck machine. You just see Will Smith crying in the corner for hours while he's masturbating. But with that wonderful segment, I think we're gonna start wrapping this one up.
Yeah, we're gonna
wrapping this one
up.
up, kind of like we're gonna wrap this one up, finish it just like August did all over Jada Pinkett's face in front of Will Smith, and she got smiggled right in front of him.
No, I don't want to. I don't want my imagination to just run. I don't want a definition of smiggle. I just want to think that it's whatever I think it is.